Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here in Hungary for European Race Night Division 2. We are here for qualifying for Division 2. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here today. I'm Dave Zero, your lead commentator. My co-commentator, Mr. Gibby, he went for a drink. He's not come back yet. So, four times. Oh, he is back! He is back!
Didn't want to interrupt you.
How are we, Gibby? How are we?
Yeah, I'm good. I got a nice strawberry milkshake and glad to be watching some Div 2. So, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, looking forward to see what happens. We've got a couple of cars straight out. There's a big train. I think there's about 7 cars that have literally just come out in a train with each other. There's an Alfa, Ferrari, and basically both Ferraris out in fact. So a lot of cars going out early.
Yeah, and also a mix of tyre choices as well. There's quite a few guys who've gone out on the medium tyres. Obviously, I think the optimal strategy around here is to do a medium hard in the race as long as it's all dry. And the softs really don't last long here, so possibly by going on the softs you're going to be committing to a two-stop strategy unless you can really make those hard tyres last and maybe extend that soft stint at the start. So we'll wait and see what happens, but it'll be an interesting one nevertheless.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see actually what is going to happen. I mean, we've got Arns who's going to cross the line first, but I'm just looking at that mini-map at the bottom, or the full track map that we have. There is going to be a huge, slowing down and just trying to get some space between you and the next car, going down into the second to last corner.
Yeah, the other thing about here is the soft tyres are really prone to overheating, so you want to be really careful with them on the out lap. You really don't want to put too much heat in them at all, because by the end of your hot lap they're absolutely screaming and you have no grip. You can lose tons of time in the third sector, which sometimes makes the mediums a bit of a better tyre to go with actually, because they can operate at a slightly, well, they don't heat up as much, so you don't lose that grip in the final sector. But we'll wait and see. I know on the last game it sort of worked like that, where you could get a faster lap on the mediums sometimes, but yeah, we'll wait and see with that one.
Yeah, we will wait and see. NRC on first line viewers on a hot lap at the minute in the McLaren. He's managed to not invalidate so far. I mean, this is a track where it is quite easy to hit the validation. There is the track where the boundaries that are absolutely ridiculous on the track. The drivers have got to work through that.
Yeah, and I mean, as always, it's quite a narrow track as well, so you've got to really maximise the space that you do have available to you. But if you do push it that little bit extra, you do run the risk of invalidating. But Arns has done fairly well so far. He's kept it nice and within the lines. This looks like it'll be a decent bank lap for him.
Yeah, hopefully it will be as he goes around the final corner now. Takes it up again just to try and get it round. Mercy to the bank lap, and it's a 1:14.8 on first lap of the session. As I look further down now, there is a Williams, I think of Chelsea, across the line. Not Chelsea, sorry. Raz, who's invalidated his one. There we go, there's D6W with a 15.7 on the medium compound tyre. Storm comes in with a 15.4. Let's have a quick look. And there goes Darko Wade with a 14.5. 1:45, and then Breezy and Anthem smashing it out of the park with a 14.1 there. So that's a really good lap time there from the Racing Point.
Yeah, fantastic lap from him there. Very good lap from Christoph as well. Christoph Breezy in that 14.5 sort of range. Also saw the trees go with 14.6 as well. Good lap for him to put himself up there in that top 5 early days. But as you can see, from P1 all the way down to P7 so far, it's all on the soft tyres. And at the moment, the fastest tyre on the mediums is one of our new drivers, Mike, who's up for the mediums in the Renault, and looks like he's done quite a good lap there on the mediums thus far. I think he's going for a second one as well.
Yeah, a really good lap there for himself. I mean, the mediums, you can just keep going and going and going with the mediums to as much of a degree that you want, because they're a really long-lasting tyre, so they'll always wear into a certain point where they could still put in a prime lap time.
Ooh, he's just spotted Damien Raz in the middle of the second set to go for a spin. I imagine he just got on the inside curb there and went round by those things. He's finally found some space to pull out. Yeah, good job for him there, not pulling out in front of anyone's lap. Hopefully he'll rejoin behind this Red Bull here because he's got tons of space.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for himself there. Did he get any damage? Did he get winged? I think he has, hasn't he? He's gone for another spin.
Yeah, he's missing a bit of it. Yeah, he's missing a bit of his left end plate there, so that puts. Oh, has he gone again?
And
In
he's
fact,
out.
he's out of the session. So yeah, that'll be the end of Raz's session for him there, which will be a huge pain being right at the back of the grid, especially at Hungary, which is such a difficult track to overtake at. But I think Raz is one of those drivers who's fairly quick in this division, so I expect to see him make up some places in the race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He has done some really good drives here in Division 2 so far this season. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens with him there, especially with retiring from the session. I think, did he do that before? Did he do that last week or the week before? I think I can remember him retiring from the session.
I think it was one of them, but I genuinely can't remember. I've got the memory of a goldfish, so...
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I mean, who planted me and you together, I don't know. But, as Raz has left the session, hasn't he? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there with that. Why is that turned up? Okay, that really shouldn't have been that high. My Elgato was at basically full volume for some reason. No
blaring in your ears. I've just hopped on board with aka Beloma there, and for me it said that he had a purple first sector, but I don't think he's actually on a lap.
No, he's invalidated.
Is he invalidated? Oh,
yeah.
It doesn't actually say that for me, funnily enough. But anyway, I'll go back on board with Skeefy, who's doing another lap on the mediums. So far hasn't set a very representative time. Our back-to-back race winner, or on a real charge at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of time Skeefy can do. Comes around the final corner, gets a decent exit out of there. And what's it going to be as he goes up to the line of 15.3. So, a very competitive time there, just behind Mike, who's also on the mediums. Well, I think has also set his best tyre. In fact, he set his best time now on the soft, so... oh no, he hasn't. It is the mediums. Just getting confused.
You're confusing everybody right now.
I'm confusing everyone. I'm confusing myself, I'm confusing you, I'm confusing everybody. But a good lap time there from Skeefy.
Yeah, and Storm has just started his flying lap currently. He's about to go into the first corner. He's in 12th position with a 15.4, and he seems to be opting for that alternate strategy here today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real struggle to try and take soft to hard in the race if you are in that top 10. And track position is so key around this track, so... I mean, the track position's key, but if you have to do that extra stop because you can't make the tyres last, then it's not worth it.
Oh, there he goes. There goes Storm. He's gone for a spin there. I think he's literally touched that, is it the curb on turn 5 on the hairpin, and it spins you out. I think he touched it, and that has spun him straight out off that qualifying run there, Gibby, and that's a big shame for Storm there.
Yeah, it's a big shame for Storm, but at the moment he's outside of that top 10. And what you could opt to do if you really don't want to start on the soft set of tyres, you can take a set of softs and try and sort of deliberately get P11 by slowing down at the end of your lap and just try to get just outside that top 10, which can be quite a good strategy because I think the alternate strategy around here by starting on the mediums will be very, very powerful. So we'll have to wait and see with that one.
Yeah, we just saw Arntz there. Oh, and there goes Darko Wade, in fact, for a spin too. He's gone for a spin at the same corner Storm went for a spin. So that is interesting to see that some of these drivers are being caught out by that curve there down at turn 5.
Yeah, one driver who's about to start their lap is our provisional pole sitter at the moment, Anthem, as he's just crossed the line to begin a second lap. And in fact, he's on the medium tyre now. So maybe he thinks he can improve on this harder compound tyres. We'll wait and see. But there's definitely still enough time for him to get another lap on the softs, if possible, after this lap. So this will be an interesting one to watch.
The final corner. Sorry to interrupt there. Gibby Breezy comes across the line, and it does go quicker, but not enough to influence the leaderboard there, Gibby. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries. Just on board with Anthem in that first sector. He got a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 3, but he managed to hold it together and keep his foot planted. And so far, the lap's actually looking really smooth. He's coming into, I believe this is turn 6 there, the little chicane there, keeps that nice arm, he's backed out of it. Yeah, so maybe he's decided that it's not going to be the best of laps and doesn't want to finish it. Or maybe he's backing off to do another one. You can do multiple laps on these medium tyres, they will last, so be interesting to see on that one.
Christoph currently in the McLaren, just set a purple sector 2. I don't know if that might be a Codemasters glitch, but we never know with Codemasters as he's coming now round the final corner. It's going to be interesting to see what the McLaren can do. He can perform in qualifying, and there it is, 14 head from our Christoph. So he takes provisional pole here on his second run.
Yeah, Chelsea just improved to P9 as well with a 1:15.2, so a decent lap from them to get them inside the top 10. Might not be where you want to be come the end of the session though. You might want that free tyre choice by the end.
Yeah, definitely so. T-Bag just got purple sector 2 as well, so I don't know if it is a glitch, but it works with Christoph, so it'll be interesting to see if T-Bag can get it. He's coming around the final corner now in the Ferrari. DRS is now enabled as he heads towards the line, and T-Bag gets a 1:14.3 and moves himself up into 4th position. As I see, is that a Williams down there? Yellow flag? Oh no, it's a Racing Point. It's Chelsea. Off the fast left-hander, interestingly enough, has lost it and unfortunately put it into the barrier there and put that qualifying to ruins.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for them, there's still 6 minutes in the session at the minute, so there's plenty of time to get back to the pits and change that front wing and get another lap in. But so far on the cusp of just being knocked outside of that top 10, which I think ideally, if you're not in the top half of that top 10, you realistically want to be in that P11 spot just for that free time. Just watch that as well. Squirrely on the exit there. That's such a hard corner to get right. If you go too close on the inside and clip that curb, you're instantly round. If you're running it wide like that, it's just getting the power down. It can be such a struggle.
That was really close there.
Now had Harvey in the final sector going on board with Chelsea here. Let's see how this happened. Maybe into the pit lane. And yeah, hit the pit wall, try to go into the pits. So that'll be the end of Harvey's session. Unfortunate to see, but yeah, got caught out there by the looks of things with the pit entry.
Yeah, he really did. To be fair, when I was practicing for the first time on the wheel, I did that thing straight away. I did exactly where he's just crashed into, and it's not a good experience.
Yeah, to be fair, it can sometimes be quite easily done if you just if you're trying to go into the pit lane, you carry a little bit too much speed, you just understeer out. And maybe also if you're just trying to get in the corner and you get a bit of oversteer and you hit that wall, because it does sort of protrude almost into the track. So unfortunate to see a session end like that, but at the moment he set a fairly representative time with a 15.0, so never know, it could still get in quite a good position in this qualifying, especially with how easily it is to invalidate around here.
Yeah, a lot of drivers now going out for their final runs here on the medium compound tyres, so it's going to be interesting to see what those drivers do on the mediums, and if anybody's going to try and stick with the softs and try and get a better lap in, as Ireland, I think, is one of the drivers who is on a lap currently the championship leader. It's going to be interesting to see where he puts it today.
Yeah, I mean, Ireland's definitely going to want to bounce back after a quite poor showing in Silverstone for his standards. I think he ended up finishing around about 6th or 7th, not really where he wants to be, whereas his closest rival, Skeefy, was taking the win by a good margin, so he's going to want to bounce back this weekend as he sets a purple sector 2. Whether that is true or not, we don't know, but it's looking like a fairly clean lap so far as he comes around into the second to last corner. Gets hooked up nicely to see if he gets the traction down yet. Nice through there, and final corner, is going to carry the speed, yeah, keeps it in 4th, plants the throttle, powering up to the line now, what's it going to be? It's a 13.8, and the first one to dip into the 13s in this session.
Beautiful lap there, an absolutely beautiful lap there from NRC Ireland, and I was just looking in the background of that lap, and you could see Skeefy just lurking in the background, watching what he was doing as he goes past NRC Ireland. Now, it was kind of like cat and mouse, like, let's see what you're going to do here. And that's a really good lap there from Ireland.
Yeah, the other thing to note with Skeefy is he is committing to these mediums. He's now done 3 laps on them, so he's just not even trying with the softs. He wants a medium lap inside the top 10, or he wants to be out of the top 10. He just doesn't want to be anywhere near those soft tyres.
No, it's an interesting strategy for himself, especially after 3 attempts. It may not have worked out. You think some people would jump to the softs in being scared of not being able to get a decent quality position, but he's really trying to stick this one out.
Yeah, as you see now, it's been a fairly clean lap so far. It doesn't look too bad. Definitely does not look anywhere near as quick as what Ireland's was on the softs. So It won't be breaking
Oh,
any
he
records
did.
as he decided to pull it into the so he's pulling it into the pits now, and I think he may not have enough time to go back out on the softs. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. It'll be very close if he does get back out on the softs. Whether he'll get a lap in.
Next person across the line is Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj puts it sixth with a 14.4. So he's got that car nicely into the mid-table there. So that's really good for Nicki.
Yeah, another new driver of ours, TIR Hayes, puts it P17 there, also on the medium tyres, so not opting to do a run on the soft tyres, doesn't want to go anywhere near them. So a lot of the drivers outside of this top 10, you can see a lot of them have done many laps, including D6 and Ramos as well, opting to do multiple laps on the medium tyres, which is it's an interesting one. I mean, I think I would go for a set of softs and, not try and get in the top 10, but try and aim for that P11 spot to just give yourself the best chance possible. I mean, you still get the free tyre choice, and you gain a few positions for free, so why not? Let's just see Chelsea coming through the final corner now, running up to the line. What's this going to be? It's going to be a 1:14.8 and P10 at the moment.
I'm just on board with Mike in the Renault, and he set a purple sector 1 and 2. So I'm very interested to see what this is going to be. He's currently 13th with a 15.3. The game has told me that it's a purple 1 and 2 from the Renault. He's about to cross the line, and he puts it third with a 14 dead, and literally 600ths of a second, 6,000ths of a second, off Christoph's time. So that's a really good lap there from the Renault.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Mike so far. I mean, the lap that he'd done before was on the medium, so he's went nearly 1.2 seconds faster with that sort of lap. Yeah, impressive stuff for him, and definitely showing some good pace. As you see Chelsea picking up a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Breezy there, and Breezy has retired from the session. It looks like Breezy's car's on the entrance of turn 5, so I wonder whether Breezy lost it and Chelsea's just come in and collected him, or vice versa. There.
I mean, they're on opposite ends of the. They were on opposite ends of the track there. I'm not too sure. From what I could see, they were quite far away, so I'm not too sure what's going on with the game there.
Chelsea's only just going through the chicane now, so.
Oh, Chelsea. Sorry.
Yeah, Chelsea.
I was looking at the teammate. Completely.
Anthem.
Oh, that's not the best for me.
But yeah, that's. I think that's. I don't think it's 2 races in a row, but that's been a few. I think that's the second time that's happened where there's a grid penalty.
And Ekilova's binned it. He's binned it up. Darko Wade's about to go past him, and Darko Wade nearly bins it too. The two Zaubers there nearly binning it on the same corner, and that's another huge blow for a qualifying session for Ekilova's.
Yeah, that turn 4 can be incredibly difficult. You really want to take as much curb as you can through there, but if your setup's not quite stable going through there, you have to take it a little bit more carefully, and it can really throw you off. I think that's the trickiest part of the track there, that turn 4 and 5 section, and that sector 2 can be really difficult for invalidating as well. But just looking to see if anyone's going to be finishing their laps now. I think Steffi's coming around the final corner.
Christoph's about to come in to the final corner now. Steffi with a 1:14.5 there. Christoph, I think he is up on his time, so it's going to be interesting to see where he puts it. He's got a 10th to break. What's he got to coming across the line? And he did go quicker, but nowhere near enough to make a dent into that provisional pole time. Skeefy on the softs, coming around the final corner now as well. He's got the DRS enabled. Where's he going to put it? He puts it with a 1:14.9, and the only man left was D6W, and he has invalidated his attempt. So that's NRC Ireland taking pole position here in Hungary, followed by Christoph, and the debut of Mike has really come alive here, and he puts it on the last podium position there in qualifying.
Yeah, an impressive showing from the drivers again. Definitely impressive from NRC Ireland after coming off the back of quite a poor weekend at Silverstone. So good to see him back at the forefront, but he's giving Skeefy quite a bit of work to do, with Skeefy being down there in P13.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, the question I've got is, do we know if Skeefy's using his wheel today, or is he using a pad today? That's another big question.
I believe he's sticking with the pad. So that's another thing to remember, is also Chelsea with that 5-place grid drop. I think we'll be starting in P17 actually, instead of P12 there. So that moves Skeefy up to P12 for the start of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Skeefy can do, especially if he's gone for the alternate strategy. It's kind of worked in his favour now that it's got 13th. But Ireland takes pole position, Christoph is second, Mike in third, Anthem fourth, Seabag in fifth, Breezy in sixth, Nikki in seventh, Steffi in eighth, Arndt in ninth, and Darko Wade in 10th, wrapping up the top 10. But we did see a lot of incidents there down at turn 5, so it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in the race during them corners. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here for European Race Night Division 2, and we are here at the Hungaroring here in Hungary, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here today. Very narrow track here, not really much for overtaking, but a very technical track indeed, in parts of Sector 2 and Sector 3, where the drivers will be on the limits going through the corners with one DRS straight here, which is only the pit straight, so we'll be seeing most of our moves down into turn 1. We've also got the DRS straight down into turn 2. I forgot about that one. But the safety car is out on track today, and I'm going to be interested to see if that will come into play here for Division 2 once again. But we are here for European Race Night Division 2, and it's live! Now then, Gibby, the driver standings that we have currently. Ireland is at the top with 165 points. His closest rival is Skeefy with 140, and then it's Ramos in third with 106. So Skeefy really does need a good point finish today to close that gap even more to what he did last week.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment it's looking a bit stacked against him in this race, being all the way down there in P12 for the start. But what to take note is just he's going to be hoping that there isn't an early safety car that will give a lot of those soft runners an early stop. I think what he's going to have to do is try and make these medium tyres work for him and get the overcut. The other thing to remember is he's not actually the lead medium runner in this pack. It's actually Matriz being the one that actually qualified in P11. So, also what NRC Ireland's going to have to do is, if there is no safety cars, the ideal strategy for him will be to pull away as much as he can at the start and build that gap so that he doesn't get stuck in traffic when he comes to making his pit stops. So it'll be an interesting one to see, and it'll be interesting to see whether Div 2 can actually make overtakes around here. They always deliver with quite good wheel-to-wheel racing, so it'll be nice to see if that can also happen at quite a difficult track to overtake on.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, Gibby, we saw you in Monaco on a track you can't really overtake on going through the hairpin. So if you could do that, I think Division 2 could definitely put on a show here. 100%. Division 2 are a division that are absolutely on the limit all the time. Grid always compact up, and it's definitely going to be exciting to see how close this is actually going to be and where people are going to be brave enough to send some moves today here in Hungary.
Yeah, personally, I think the best or my favourite overtaking spot on this track is that turn 2, that long sweeping left-hander, and then up to the straight all the way up to turn 4. There is a fantastic place because you can take so many lines into that corner. But again, I think the main straight you're going to want to be mostly setting up moves, trying to make those overtakes, and then going into that turn 2 is where you actually want to be getting the moves done. It's also around here I found it might just have been of the wet weather, but I managed to use quite a bit of ERS in the race yesterday. Well, for the 8 laps that I was in it before getting disqualified. But I don't know what the ERS is really like around this track in the dry, but I could burn it quite a lot. So that might lead into maybe some overtakes going down that main straight if people really burn through that ERS. But we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see, because you look at this track on paper, you really don't think that it is a track that can really burn through your ERS. Because you look at it and you go, right, it's just one straight. But the corners here can actually be so fast and so much on the throttle through the corners that is what's taking that ERS a little bit off every lap until it is seriously noticeable.
Yeah. And the other thing too that I always find quite interesting around this track is setup choice. So it's quite a high downforce track. So quite a lot of people go for quite a high rear wing. I think the sort of standard wings you see around here are sort of 611, 610, 510, 511, that sort of stuff. But with some people, they may choose to lower that front wing quite a lot because through that middle section, it's not the fastest section on the track. And if you have track position, you can sort of hold people through that section and then use your lower downforce down the straight to make overtakes. So it'd be interesting to see whether anyone's gone for some sort of race setup like that. I remember I did something similar back on the 2018 game, and it worked really well for me in the race with making moves and just no one being able to get past me. But whether it's doable in this game, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we are moments away now from the formation lap. And now, let's have a little discussion. Who are you picking for your predictions today?
Well, to be honest, it's really up in the air with especially how difficult it is with tyre management around this track. But I think Ireland once again is in a being on pole position, of course, is in a very good position to make good of this race. I'd quite like to see Mike have a good race. It's his first race in ERN, so and he's qualified P3, so it's a good start. The likes of Anthem's back as well. Anthem's missed quite a few races during this season, and he's one of the quicker guys in Div 2. So I think I'm going to go Anthem for the win. I think I'm going to go Ireland for P2, and then I think Mikey's going to hold P3.
Right, okay. So, Ireland, Anthem, and Mikey. That's what you're going for, yeah?
Yeah.
You know what, that was literally the exact same as what I was thinking. That was literally the exact same. Oh, I've got to change it now, haven't I?
You got to change it. We could go with the same. I mean, great minds think alike, don't they? So.
I mean, I don't know how, because me and you are bloody dumb. When it comes to Among Us, it doesn't work. But, you know what, I'm going to go Ireland, Anthem. Sorry, Mike, I would like to see you do well in your first race here, but I can't do the same as this man. So I'm going to do Nikki. I think Nikki's had a lot of bad luck recently, and I think could have an opportunity of doing something today.
Yeah, a lot of bad luck throughout the season for Nikki, but finally got a very good result last week out. I think they got P4 in the end. Just had the podium snatched away due to penalties. So, but the other thing to remember with Nikki is their lightning starts that they always have.
Yeah.
So, no doubt one to watch and see if they can make up positions off the line. Another thing I've just quickly noticed is Eke outside of the top 10, opting for the hard tyres to start with, as opposed to the mediums. So that will also be another one to watch.
The only person to do that as well, to go on the hards out of everybody outside the top 10. So that's going to be interesting to see as we get the final card now lining up on the grid. It's giving me an awful camera angle there. I've only got...
Yeah, I can only see the rears of the cars.
Yeah, so,
at the moment
no,
as well.
I've got one. You have to go to Harvey.
There we go. I've managed to get it on Ireland.
And it's lights out, and away we go. And Anthem, it's already glitched. There's blue flags. There's actually blue flags. Everyone's ghosting because it's blue flags. Oh no. Ireland goes down into turn 1. The McLaren there of Christoph and Anthem in 3rd. Mike is down into 4th. Breezy in 5th. This is absolutely chaos, Gibby, with our timing screens. This has not gone well at all, apparently, to Goldmasters. She's telling me Skeefy's in 2nd.
Just have to hang on to what we have there on the screen. But I think I even saw a teabag on the grass there going up into the run into turn 4. But he's managed to get in front of Nicky there. This is good. Breezy has also made a good start there, moving up into P4. I think the timings have settled a bit now, and they look a bit more realistic for me. Nicky, unfortunately, actually losing a position on the opening lap. I think that might be the first time that's happened all season. But Skeefy also making a decent start there, moving up into P11, being the front of the medium runners. Now a horrible start for Eke Below on those hard tyres, but it's to be expected. They aren't the grippiest tyres, so you're not going to get the best launch off the corners.
No, definitely not. The hard compound tyre, it's one of them, you know you're going to be slow at the start, and especially on a cold track. You definitely know you're going to be slow, but they can wear in ever so slightly each lap and just take that life to the end. Let's see Mike on board. on board with Mike actually and Breezy going into turn 1. He is looking at Breezy. Didn't have the best of starts. Mike third down to 5th. And he's going to have a look at Breezy as he goes down into turn 2. He's looking down the inside now. Breezy's hanging it around the outside. Breezy will have the inside line now going into here. And he's got, keeps ahead, of the Renault. Another Ferrari of T-Bag looking interested going into turn 4. And the Renault not having any of that on that occasion.
Yeah, just watching with Mike, he seemed to have great straight line speed going down that main straight. But I think that might be because he's burnt a lot more ERS than the cars around him. So he's going to be looking to make this move on Breezy, especially seeing as the gap's already over a second to Anthem. So the top 3 have already managed to break that 1 second gap, and they're going to be wanting to try and pull away and get a bit of a gap to these guys behind. But so far looking fairly decent. Looking further back, there's also a bit of a gap starting to form between Harvey and Matrice. So the Alpha Tauri, the sister team, beating out the main team of the Red Bull at the moment lower down the field. But we'll see how that battle develops.
Yeah, we will, as I'm just looking on board now with Anthem. Anthem is right close to the back of Christoph, and Mike is really close to the back of Breezy. And Mike's going to go for the outside line here of Breezy down into turn 1. Is he going to do the switchback? He tries to make an attempt and does make an attempt. T-Bag was looking to try and do a switchback on the pair of them, but here comes the Renault now of Mikey, going round the outside into turn 2, and now we'll set him up for turn 3, and when they arrive at turn 3, he has got ahead there of the Mercedes as we have a yellow flag, and it's NRC Arns there, down in turn 2, who's gone for a spin by the seams of it.
Yeah, I think Arns was quite close to Nicky, so I wonder if those two came to blows there. I didn't quite see what happened. I was too focused on the battle with Mike and Breezy, but a good job there from Mike, getting on the outside line there to turn it into the inside for the next part of the track. As we see Anthem, it's all over the back of Christoph, really close behind him in the second sector. So Anthem will really be looking to get the move done here, as also Island started to pull out.
Oh, there goes Breezy!
Oh,
Breezy, a big crash there for Breezy. Look at that, right in the middle of the track, and that's a virtual safety car. I don't know how that isn't a safety car. He's right in the middle of the track there, and he's had a big off there, and that must be contact from somebody, but that is prime pitting time now for Christoph, Anthem, Mikey, T-Bag, Nicky, Darko, Steffi, all coming into the pits, getting these soft tyres off under this virtual safety car, because it is inevitably a free pit stop here.
yeah, smart move by all the soft runners at the moment, coming in to get rid of that soft tyre, because it is definitely not a very good race tyre around here. Interestingly enough though, Island has decided to stay out during this VSC on their soft tyres, so this might come back to bite them. But this now promotes Ski Feet into P2, which is ideal for them, because now they're not stuck in traffic. They're on relatively fresh mediums and can just start to close that gap up to Island, because those soft tyres will probably be going off in the next couple of laps, to be honest, as you see Chelsea picking up a 3-second time penalty there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, especially with the place that Skeefy is in currently. He's really got himself, like as you say, in that open air, ready to just... Those mediums aren't going to be overheating, they're going to be wearing, but not by much, and they're going to be lasting a lot longer than those softs. And highly likely, Island will be doing a 2-stop due to him starting on the mediums. I mean, he could try and go on the hards, on the soft, but he could try going to the hards and make it a 1-stop, but it'll be tough for him today. Ooh.
Yeah, he'd really have to extend. But as I'll go back to the action here.
Hayes there was off the grass there. He was off the track and onto the grass there, and I'm not too sure what went on. And Ramos is pitted off the medium compound tyres. So
Ramos has a bit of wing damage there on the front left end plate, so maybe came to blows a bit there. Not too sure, but it looked like Hayes was on the inside there, so I'm not sure how he picked up that damage.
I'm just looking at Anthem. He's lost a bit of time to our Christoph for that. Our Christoph has just gained a bit of time in the pit stops there. So Anthem is now under more pressure from Mike than he is to our Christophs, which is interesting to see how much time he's lost in the pit stops there.
Yeah, I think what's a shame a lot for a lot of these soft runners is they now that they're on the medium tyres, is they'll be starting to catch up to the people who did start the race on the mediums, and even Eke who started on the hard tyres. And unfortunately for them, they're going to get stuck in traffic here, with it being hard to make an overtake. And it's though those guys' tyres will go off a bit sooner, they're still relatively fresh compared, so it'll be a good couple of laps before they'll actually be able to start making those sorts of moves. You see Christoph picking up a 3-second time penalty there for extending out of the corner there. It's very easy to do that with such a high-speed corner. The car just washes out, and there's not a lot you can do about it. But so far, some good running here from ABL Raz and TR Hayes in the Williams. They've, I know pretty much everyone else has pitted so far, but two of them at the moment running inside the top 10 and from the back of the grid, so it'll be interesting to see whether they can make this stick. Mike sets a blistering 1:17.8 lap time, so definitely got the pace on these medium tyres and is now caught right up to the back of Anthem, so they'll be looking to make a move within the next couple of laps.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. I was just on board there with Storm, and Storm was really close to the back of the trees and looking to try and make a move on the medium compound tyres. All of these yet to pit, and it's not a big gap there between behind Harvey and all the way down to Hayes.
Oh, we got a yellow flag and it's for Christoph. Oh, and there's a massive accident. Anthem and Christoph have come together.
That's huge. That is actually huge for this race, and it's another virtual safety car. And Anthem has got wing damage there. Christoph has wing damage, I think, by the looks of it, has he?
Yeah, he's missing a bit of his front left end plate, so...
FK Beloba has it too. Did he get collected or not? I imagine he did.
Yeah, I think Eke was actually the one running in front of those guys, so I reckon it must have been Christoph that caught up to Eke and maybe tagged the back of him or something like that. I'm not too sure, but yeah, shame for him to have damage, especially on those hard tyres. So now see Island making the most of this VSC and coming in and switching to the hard tyres. So I reckon Island's going to try and maybe make this work going to the end of the race, but this VSC has definitely helped Island quite a bit here with getting rid of those soft tyres and still coming out in a decent position. So he's benefited from all the people that stopped earlier by being able to use those soft tyres for a few extra laps. So he's lucked out a bit there with that second VSC, but I think he'll be hoping for a late safety car in this race because those hard tyres come the end will not be very quick at all, and Skeefy can still extend now on the mediums. The other thing as well is Island's got to make it past all this traffic here of D6, Storm, Matrice, Harvey, which I think will just hold them up too much. So I think Skeefy now has entered prime position to take the victory at this point.
Skeefy, yeah, he's sat in a very, very good position there, Gibby. And I'm just looking on board with the two Williams of, is that Mercedes back there? Steffi? Is Steffi off there?
Steffi had a moment, didn't go fully round, I think just clipped the inside of turn 5 and just managed just to catch the car. So lost a bit of time, but luckily isn't facing the wrong way on the track.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to mention the two Williams boys of Hayes and Raz. Them two were working up the order a little bit from the start. I mean, they're still yet to pit, but They've seems to be working together of attacking one person and trying to let that person...
Oh, here we go. Island going for around the outside on D6W into turn 1. Hasn't got moved done there, but we get a second by for the Cherry with the DRS into turn 3. Boxing for the inside. Will D6 be able to hold it around the outside?
Ooh, bit of contact.
The understeers a little bit into him, and D6 has to concede that one, unfortunately. So, a little bit risky there from Island, but gets the move done. So good job from him getting past that move quickly. Oh, it's just on the trees, getting a little bit squirrely out of turn 4. It's all kicking off once again. And with that battle, that's left D6 open to the two Williams cars behind, as Hayes is now right all over the back of him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. A slight mistake could cost you a lot of places. I'm looking at Storm too, who's on the back of the other AlphaTauri of Matrice, and D6W under pressure from the two Williams boys. So that's going to be really crucial about what's going to happen. And this yellow flags, but nothing's down there. I was just looking, there's no car down there.
Yeah, I don't think that was for anything. I don't know what F1's on about there.
Well done, Codemasters, once again, fantastic game. But I'm just on board now, first of all, with Storm, and Storm is definitely got to have this move done here on the AlphaTauri. Yeah. DRS enabled,
easy peasy.
Overtake, and he's got him way before turn 1. Let's have a look at the two Williams going on. D6W is going to go for the inside line. He doesn't go for the inside line, trying to get the exit, which will be the most crucial for him to get past D6W here, heading towards turn 2. Is he going to go for the... He went for the outside line, but D6W just cuts across there and says, that's my line, and you're not getting it on this occasion. So, stays ahead, D6W.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Those couple of that little sequence of corners there, because coming out of turn one, there's a little bit more grip if you take the outside line coming through there, because it's on the racing line come the end of it. So if you can position your car on the outside and carry that speed around, you can usually get a bit of a better exit and then get the move done going into turn three. But of course, you have to actually carry that speed, so you usually have to have some sort of tyre advantage over the other car to get a move like that done. But yeah, good stuff there from D6.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see. I mean, they are going to be under pressure here from Hayes. She's doing very well. Raz in 9-2. Their teammate is doing well also. So the two Williams in points at the minute, but yet to pit. The only person who has pitted on the medium compound tyres is Mike, who was in prime position to take second once all these pit, but he has to get through that traffic. And Skeefy has got a 5-second penalty, not a 5-second penalty, sorry, as Island's going down the inside of Matrice. Skeefy's got a 5-second lead, and Matrice keeps ahead of Island as Island went a bit too deep, but he's going down the inside into turn two. Oh, a bit of contact there slightly, and Matrice trying to go back down the outside into turn three. And Matrice still fighting this. He's really behind Island, and this time backs away, and Island gets that position eventually.
Yeah, that was a little bit naughty from Island there, just bumping the trees out like that, but luckily no damage between the two cars. I don't think there's anything to do with that, but he's going to want to be a bit careful there, because I think he's a little bit lucky there that he didn't end up with damage, because that was quite a hefty hit on the inside. So he was lucky not to bash an end plate off there.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, he really is pushing as much as he can. I think he can see that there could be an issue with Skeefy's overcut. So he really is trying to get some wear and some heat into those hard tyres and saying, come on, we're doing this now until the end of the race. And it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to affect Island's tyre wear for one, and Skeefy's. Let's see what happens there as there's a Mercedes off, and Steffi in the Mercedes is off down around the S's from what you can see, and has dropped down now all the way to 18th position. As Hayes, she's going for the move now on D6W. D6W is trying to fight back as much as possible, but Hayes has now got the outside line going into turn two, and they make a bit of contact there. D6W held it, and it's a really good held from D6W there. Is now under pressure from Mike, and Mike's going to go around the outside there and take the scraps off that fight, but a good hold there from D6W not to send them all the way around.
Yeah, good job there by D6W managing to keep the car together there. Really unfortunate with the slight bit of contact.
Raz
We
is
see
off.
Raz losing it on the exit of turn 5 and into the wall, but he's not out. He's just in the wall and waiting for those cars to go around.
Oh, there's a McLaren off there.
Nicky as well.
No, it's Nicky. Yeah, Nicky, sorry.
Yeah, Nicky as well, losing it in that turn 5. So turn 5 seeming to be a real problem corner for Div 2 at the minute. Really struggling to get any grip through there. I wonder if maybe it's due to the track being quite cold, because it doesn't look the brightest out there, to be fair.
No.
Yeah, unfortunate to see stuff like that. But yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit for D6 here. He's sort of been barged out the way by Island there, and then he's had Hayes send the move around the outside and just understeered in and lost a lot of positions in the last couple of laps. But hopefully D6 can get his head down, start putting in the laps and get back into this race, because they seem to have decent pace. It's just managing to keep it clean at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of gaps beginning to form here, but we are still yet to have a round of pit stops to go. Storm really caught to the back of the Red Bull of Harvey, so that's very good for him. He's got on the back there of himself. But Island is coming as Raz has retired in the pit, so that's over for the Williams there. So he must have been he's spinning round wasn't the best for him. So and he's decided to retire from the session, which is unfortunate for the Williams, because they were on for some good points.
Yeah, it's a shame to see, but this track is so difficult to overtake on. So once you've lost that position, it can be very hard to get back into it. Unless you get safety cars, which you can't always bank on. And I mean, at the moment, it looks like the game's only throwing VSCs at us at the moment, so not going to see a bunch up. But it'll be interesting to see here. Storm now all over the back of Harvey, coming down the main straight. He's got a lot of ERS to play with, whereas Harvey doesn't have a lot. Will he be able to get it? No, doesn't look like it down this main straight, but he will catch right up onto the back of him. We'll see if he can get a move done into turn 3.
Oh, he's going for
he
it!
sends it! Oh my God, Storm going with a massive dive bomb there up the inside and obviously overshoots and Harvey gets the position back, but a bit optimistic there from Storm. I don't think that was deliberate. I think that was just he missed his braking point a bit there.
Yeah,
But luckily no contact
so.
between the two cars.
I was about to say, that's very rare you see Storm go for any such of a move like that, as there's Mercedes of Steffi. Lost it on turn 5 again. There is the Mercedes in turn 5. And there goes Harvey. Harvey loses it on the exit of turn 5, right in front of ERN Storm. And that's him off the track there and dropping positions left, right and centre. So that isn't good for himself. But Matriz under a bit of pressure here from Hayes in the Williams and Mike in the Renault. Really trying to put on a bit of pressure here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But Steffi's spun again round at turn 5. So clearly a killer is turn 5 here for Division 2.
Yeah, Steffi's tyres must be shot now after the last couple of spins. I think they're even fresh tyres as well, fresh hards. So maybe just not up to temperature yet and just needs to try. You have to drive so slowly to get them back on temp. We now see Anthem coming round as well.
Just on board with Hayes as she's going to look down the inside here of Matriz in the AlphaTauri. Hayes is going to look for it, a bit of contact there. The Renault's having a little look too. And the Renault now is going to come down the inside as the 3 of Bryce going into turn 2. And they both get the AlphaTauri. But the Williams and the Renault are battling out here through turn 3. And the Renault of Mike gets it on Hayes coming out of there. But what a battle that was, going 3 abreast into turn 2. And that's a fantastic move there from both of them on Matriz. Matriz was a sitting duck there.
Yeah, amazing stuff to see from Div 2, especially good from Mikey there, managed to pick off both drivers. He was just sitting in the background waiting for an opportunity, and when both of them got that poor exit coming out of turn 1, he took the opportunity while it was there. Managed to carry great speed through turn 3, going up into turn 4, getting those moves done. Good as well from Hayes, managing to get past Matriz, but one position gain, one position loss, so no difference in position there at the moment. But great racing from Div 2. It's like what we were discussing beforehand. You know, it's a very difficult track because it's so narrow, but that turn 1 and 3, 1 through to 4 is a very good spot to get overtakes done. As we now see Matriz pull into the pits and getting off the medium tyres, so I suppose he'll probably be going onto the hard tyres now towards the end, which should be easily doable. So a bit of an undercut here, maybe to try and get in front of those two, realising that they're not winning the battle at the moment. So maybe trying to win the battle in terms of strategy rather than in on-track racing.
Yep, and Ireland is also now caught up to the back of ERN Storm. And Storm is right on the back of Chelsea in the racing point. So these guys, Storm and Chelsea get to pit, and NRC Ireland just trying to clear this traffic. And do you think Storm will be playing a bit of games trying to keep him behind as long as possible for Skeefy and the other Haas?
I think somewhat. There's going to be somewhat Haas team orders here. Storm's not going to give up this P3 at the moment without a fight, but NRC Ireland's been very impressive with getting through this traffic, and also a bit lucky with some of the drivers having spins, such as Harvey. But yeah, he's going to want to try and get past Storm as soon as possible because he knows that Storm's going to be trying to maybe hold him up a bit, and he's definitely going to put up a fight.
Ooh,
but in fact, I say that Storm makes me look like a right Wally and pulls straight into the pits.
Yeah.
So maybe Storm not looking to lose time with fighting with Ireland and is deciding to pit now onto the hard tyres and looking to catch back up to Ireland. But the gap's looking about 10 seconds from Skeefy back to Ireland. But obviously Skeefy will have much fresher tyres come the end of the race, as we also see Hayes now pull into the pits. So maybe trying to cover off that undercut from Matriz earlier on.
Darko Wade here on Harvey going down into turn 1. Darko Wade goes for the inside line on the Red Bull. The Red Bull tries to get a switchback and a better exit. Is he able to do it? I don't think he's going to get it on this occasion. And Darko is ahead and into 7th there in the Sauber. So good move from himself there.
Yeah, just looking at Harvey's battery consumption there, he's all the way down at 86%. Absolutely nothing left, running on sparks pretty much down the straight. So, yeah, fairly straightforward move there for Darko, but maybe a bit of a blessing in disguise for Harvey because now he can maybe just tuck him behind and not below the overtake down the straights and try and recharge it a little bit by using the DRS.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Storm. Storm is in a really nice position now on fresh hards, in 9th position, and Skeefy pits. Skeevy does come into the pits. That will give NRC Ireland the lead. And Chelsea and Mike as Chelsea pits. So Mike is looking to try and hunt down NRC Ireland a little bit here. But will he be pitting again? I can see it happening. He will definitely be pitting again.
Yeah, I mean, technically Mike doesn't have to pit again. He's used both sets of tyres in this race, but those mediums I highly doubt will go to the end. So if he's, I think if he's got a chance of maybe just getting back onto this podium, what he's going to have to do is put Ireland under a bit of pressure there and maybe just hold him up a bit. Because the likes of Skeefy and Storm are in a fantastic position at the moment, doing their one and only stop that they need to do in the race, and having that free, not having to stop again and lose probably roughly about 20 seconds or so in the pit lane. So yeah, the other one to keep out for is I think Nicky in that first round of pit stops on the soft tyres actually opted for the hard tyres. So they didn't go on the mediums like everyone else did, and it's sort of paying off for them at the moment. However, come the end of the race, it's going to be a bit of a situation similar to Ireland's, probably a bit worse in terms of tyre wear. And they've got to really be hoping for a late safety car or something to get a free pit stop at the end.
Big slide there from the racing point of Chelsea and Hayes. She's all over the back of Chelsea currently in the racing point. Chelsea not liking those fresh hards currently in the racing point. It's just sliding there, heading into turn 6 and just couldn't get the power down going through there. So it's going to be interesting if Hayes can take advantage of what's going to happen ahead, if anything's going to happen ahead, as Chelsea runs really wide there into the second to last corner and now into the final corner. Could Hayes smell blood here to make a move on Chelsea? Chelsea will also have DRS though, thanks to Nicki Minaj, and Chelsea is really clawing Nicki Minaj in, and it's going to be interesting to see if Chelsea can actually now make a move on Nicki into turn 3, or is it a bit too far-fetched there as Anthem retires in the pits there, and that's a shame there for Anthem, and it's a virtual safety car.
Interesting one here to have the VSC at this point in the race. I think if I was the likes of Mike and I get near the pit lane and the VSC's still open, I'd be really tempted to go for a pit stop now.
Yeah.
On those, if you're doing the 2-stop with the 2 medium tyres, just to get that free tyre choice, and they'll safely get to the end, I reckon, the mediums from this point on in the race.
This could be critical right now because Mike is actually coming up to the pit lane, and I'd be straight in here, but he doesn't seem like he wants to do it. So Mike
hasn't opted for it. It looks like Teabag will. Yeah, so Teabag's opting for this strategy, going for the potentially a bit of time save here. In fact, it goes green just before he gets into the pit lane, so he won't actually gain anything from this. It'll just be a regular pit stop now because everyone else will be back up to full racing speed while he's doing this pit stop. But we see Skeefy now moving back up into P3 and now has a gap of roughly about 9-10 seconds to goes up onto Ireland, and also getting past Mike, who will probably have to do another pit stop at some point. So he'll probably be hoping that Mike gets that pit stop done before he catches him on track. But Mike, I believe the gap was about 2 seconds to Ireland, and he's now closed that right up to 6/10. So Mike's going to be really bothering Ireland here, which is not what Ireland needs if he's going to take the win in this race.
No, not currently, as I'm just looking at the queue behind Nicky of Chelsea and Hayes. Them two are really scrapping, and Teabag is going to be looking to get involved in this, along with NRC Arndt. So this, the midfield currently, could really still stir things up here in the latter stages of this race. I think we could be on for a hell of a fight coming up along this race now between these lot.
Yeah, especially Teabag on those fresh medium tyres. He'll be really starting to close in on that train there, but then it'll be making those moves stick and getting the moves done. But looking further up now, Mike struggling a little bit in that third sector, losing a bit of time. But he's within that DRS now, and maybe, in fact, he's on pretty much no battery. So maybe he's going to spend a couple of laps now just sat behind Ireland, charging the battery and getting ready to maybe try and pull a move on him. But I must say, what an impressive performance so far for the first race in ERN Division 2 Mike has been. He's been super competitive as we see Storm get past Darko as Darko pulls into the pits.
Yeah,
but I think as it stands...
Nicky's under pressure now from Chelsea going down into turn 1. Chelsea goes down and goes very deep there. And Hayes, she's going to look at taking advantage of this. And Chelsea now side by side with Hayes, still off the track is Chelsea. and Hayes goes through, and Chelsea there loses not only one position, and could now lose two with T-Bag all over the back of the Racing Point, but won't go for a move there into turn 4.
Yeah, turn 4 is a very difficult corner to overtake on. In fact, it's nearly impossible to do. I think I've only managed to ever do one overtake through there cleanly, pretty much. But yeah, T-Bag now is probably frothing at the mouth, looking for these moves now on these fresh medium tyres. Just look at the difference in grip that T-Bag has now. Just seems so much more comfortable on the track as it stands.
Yeah, Chelsea is under some severe pressure, really not liking those hard compound tyres, as Mike just can't seem to claw in NRC Island, and I'm wondering, did he make a big mistake there not pitting under that virtual safety car, as there is a yellow flag down there, and I'm not too sure who that's for. Oh, here we go, there goes T-Bag on Chelsea. T-Bag's got the inside line and gets the move done before turn 1. And Nicki Minaj and Hayes is going around the outside. Nicki's covering the inside line as much as they possibly can. And now they'll head towards turn 2. Hayes is going to take the outside line. Nicki's on the inside line. Hayes trying to hang it around the outside, but gets pushed a little bit wide as Nicki covers that outside line absolutely beautifully. And Nicki stays in P5 and defends that P5 well.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from Nicki so far on 16 lap old hards, much older tyres than the cars behind. Now, what will be interesting to see is what will T-Bag do in this situation, because clearly T-Bag wants to get past these guys. Will Hayes put up a battle here, or will they just let T-Bag go and then maybe use that as an opportunity to get past Nicki? Because it's looking like a bit of a struggle to try and get past Nicki at this stage in the race. And I think it's almost a given that T-Bag will get past at some point with these fresher tyres.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, and I'm really questioning the decision of Mike doing the medium compound tyres. I mean, Skeefy and Storm, the two Haas boys, could really be looking at this, and when Mike either inevitably does pit or gets a puncture or his tyres are too done to make a move, what will happen in that situation? Because the two Haas boys there are in prime position for that.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to look on Mike is he's on a lot older medium tyres, but his pace seems to be still quite good. This island, nearly going almost 20 laps on these mediums. I think Mike may even potentially be able to use a set of softs come the end of the race, which will be very interesting to see. But I think Mike, he does pit. They'll come out in rough, but obviously we'll have a bit of time to gain. But if they're on those soft tyres, they'll get it done, as we see T-Bag getting past TIR Hayes there. So getting the move done there, and we'll now be eyeing up Nicki for that P5 spot.
Yeah, Nicki could have to pit again. I mean, a safety car right now for the likes of Mike and Nicki are perfect.
Just see Nicki get on the grass there, getting a bit of a slopper. Sorry to interrupt you, but T-Bag now really spelling run on Nicki, looking for this move. Just dipping tyres all over the grass. At the moment, Nicki, I think, really struggling for grip. As we also see Mike come into the pits now, so he's opting for another set of mediums earlier on, which is a good idea, I think. He'll probably come out in P4, P5 roughly. So as long as he gets out in front of Nicki, I think that's a very good move for him, and I think he will here. In fact, he'll come out right behind Storm, so he'll be hunting that P3 position for the podium spot, and it's a good chance that he'll be able to get that done with these fresher tyres.
And T-Bag takes P5 from Nicki Minaj, so that move gets done there too. So Nicki dropping down the field now, and Hayes will be having a look at Nicki, maybe now a bit more vulnerable than it was at the previous attempts on Nicki. So that'll be interesting to see. But Skeefy and Storm right now on their fresh hard compound tyres are looking very interesting at this current moment in time. Maybe got to keep an eye on that gap between Skeefy and NRC Island.
Yeah, obviously Skeefy's on much fresher tyres than Island. I think Island's hards are still good though. The interesting thing about the hards is they usually get better and better as the stint goes on, but then they suddenly drop off a cliff when they really get worn. So I think suddenly you'll start to see the times drop from Island come the latter stages of the race. And that's when Skeefy needs to pounce now. If he can gain any time now, it will be incredibly helpful come those final couple of laps. And we've also got to remember, he's also running the risk of potentially getting a puncture. I think we saw Nicki earlier on in Austria getting a puncture as well. So
This could be
never say never.
This could be it for Storm. Here comes the Renault of Mike on the fresh medium compound tyres to go side by side, heading into turn one. Mike takes the inside line to Storm, tries a little switchback, but Mike's got a better grip on the outside, and he takes P3 back. So really, really good job here from Mike in his debut race here. He's now 12 seconds off Skeefy, but is on a very faster and very it's got a tyre that has more life in it but his ERS is very badly worn currently, so it'll be interesting to see if he can close the gap and maybe try and get second.
Yeah, he's been really pushing and using that ERS, but as you just see him pick up a 3-second time penalty there, so he definitely is pushing for higher. And in fact, I've even just seen his fuel light flashing yellow there, so he's right on nothing as he sets a purple sector 2. But Mike's been really impressive in this race, and I think it's almost somewhat lucky for him. But the likes of I think it was Christoph and T-Bag, who are on a similar strategy to him, both came a cropper coming out of turn 5 behind Eke Beloba. So that kind of removed his two rivals on the same strategy as him. So he hasn't really had to deal too much with those guys and getting past and battling with them, and he's just managed to maximise his tyres throughout these stints. So it's been a mightily impressive drive for him. It'll be interesting to see whether he can catch up this gap to Skeefy now, but I reckon the tyres will die towards the latter stint here, and he won't be able to quite catch up to him. But looking at Skeefy now, I think the gap was just under 7 seconds. It's now down to 6. So he is clawing in this gap again, and I think we will see a move for the lead of the race come the final laps.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. That gap is coming down, and it's coming down slowly but surely. But as we can see, Gibby, a lot of gaps beginning to form here here in Hungary. I mean, Ramos and D6W, them two, highly likely won't be a move there. Them two will be working together with each other. Christoph and Eke Beloba further down. Christoph once again having another good qualifying session, and in the race it just hasn't been converted, and it's been very unlucky from Christoph this season. A lot of that this season we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, Christoph's had really poor luck with the game, just glitching and all sorts of things like that. I think last time out in Silverstone it was a bit of a strategy blunder, pitting before the rain had fully settled in, so having to do that extra stop before going on to the intermediate tyres really cost him and a few other drivers, as he was running in the top 5 then. And then again today, coming into that incident coming out of turn 5, really again forcing him to make another stop in the race.
Hayes on Nicki Minaj going down into turn 2. Nicki Minaj covers the inside line once again on Hayes, trying to run her out as wide as possible. Nicki Minaj goes really wide too, heading into turn 3, and Hayes once again has to stick behind the Red Bull. Oh, there goes Nicki! Touches turn 5, and Nicki is round. Nicki touches the curb on turn 5, and on those 21 lap old hards, they're not going to capture that one back, and that moves his Hayes up into 6th, and Nicki drops now into P9, and I think it has to be a new set of tyres there for Nicki now.
Yeah, I mean, Nicki's got I think 8 laps left in this race. You could potentially go for a set of softs, but if you want to play it safe, I think go for the mediums. They're a bit of a better race tyre, maybe have a bit better life in them. But I think that'll maybe be a bit of a sigh of relief there for Hayes, as now they've because that battle was getting pretty feisty between the two of them there, and I could potentially have seen an accident forming. So probably quite happy to see a bit of clean track in front of them now. But yeah, unfortunate to see with Nicki. I was driving a mightily impressive race up until that point. But unfortunately just lost it coming out of turn 5 again. Turn 5 claiming another Div 2 driver, but in fact Nicki's opted for the soft tyres, so it'll be interesting to see if Nicki sets some fastest laps here, maybe trying to snatch that fastest lap point away from Mike.
Yep, definitely so. I mean, I'm just looking now, Chelsea's still hanging on to the coattails of Hayes. We've got Ramos and D6W working together to try maybe try and get Ramos to the end of this race, because he is on 21 lap old hards too, so he is now on the holders set of tyres out there, and he's behind his mate of D6W in 9th with 9 lap old hards. So it's going to be interesting to see if them two can just claw their way, get some easy points there in the last couple of places for the points, and just try and bring this one home with his tyre wear. But with the tyre wear, he could be on with 21 laps. That could be really going into puncture territory.
Yeah, I'd say one driver who's done incredibly well so far is actually Storm. I was expecting Mike to pull away quite a lot after getting past, but the gap stayed around 3 seconds. So if Mike does pick up penalties, this could still be a podium for Storm here. So he's hanging on very well, but he's got to watch out from behind because Teabag also on a fresher set of medium tyres has been closing in that gap quite a bit now. So Storm's got to keep really good pace now, make sure he doesn't lose touch with Mike in front, but also doesn't come into the range of Teabag from behind, who'll be looking to get that move done. And of course, with penalties, could really mix up the grid and how easy it is to pick up warnings here. Now, the other interesting one to look at is Island, now on 20 lap old hards, almost twice the amount of laps that what Skeefy has done on his, in fact it is twice the amount of laps that Skeefy has done on his set of hard tyres. So Skeefy, the gap's about 4 seconds now, so he's been closing that in slowly but surely. And I think he's going to want to be getting even closer in these finals and potentially going for that race win move. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, a lot of gaps now just really beginning to form, but a lot of gaps are closing at the same time. We seem to be just in like a state of flux right now, where we're just waiting for those times to come down and give us what we want to see, which is a fight for that first position.
Yeah, just seeing Speedy say in the chat that Island and Ramos are really going to struggle come the end of the race. Yeah, I think that's a given at this point. In fact, Ramos is still right up behind D6, but using that overtake there. Those two are definitely working together, I think, as you were saying. But yeah, the one I really want to look out for is Island. This could potentially, with the amount of laps he's doing on these hard tyres, I really wouldn't be surprised if we see a puncture here. And it'll be absolutely heartbreaking to see because he'll drop way down the order with one of those. In fact, look at him going through that fast right-hander. He has to take a massive lift as well. He just doesn't have any grip in these tyres either. Skeefy's gained almost a second. Like, he's really clawing him in now, so the tyres are properly dropped off the cliff now. Will Island decide to come into the pits and get a new set of tyres and maybe just preserve a position?
That's awful for him. He's just gone round the final corner on those hard compound tyres, and the pit stop, his free pit stop, that could have really helped him, has come out, and now it's a safety car.
Mike's going to pit. This could be the pit stop to win the race. If Mike goes on to the soft tyres now, he could... Oh my god, I think Mike might be able to take this race here. If he goes on to the soft tyres, yeah, Teabag as well, he's going to opt for those soft tyres as well. I feel like most of the grid now are going to come in for these soft tyres, and the top three now of Storm, Skeefy and Island, all on fairly old hard tyres, are going to have some absolute monsters behind them on the soft tyres looking to get moves.
5 second time penalty for Ramos and D6W, so their teamwork hasn't paid off here, and they've clattered into each other. But this is critical now. This is critical. Island, Skeefy and Storm need some big luck here right now, and Island is already behind the safety car too. So they won't be able to get their free pit stop because they're already stuck behind it.
Yeah, as Nicky's just picked up a 5 second penalty as well there for ignoring the yellow flags. But another driver who's chosen to stay out, Matrice, managed to stay out on his hard tyres, giving him a P6 result at the minute. But this is giving me flashbacks to Div 1 Bahrain, where we had that final shootout in the final 3 laps. I think they're going to get something similar here again, this time around Hungary in Div 2. But I feel like Mike's almost in prime position to take the win here.
Oh, he is.
He will definitely get these moves done on these soft tyres, and it could be a massive strategy blunder for everyone else, because in fact they've caught the safety car and they've been held up. So they don't even have the option to come into pit. They will definitely lose track position if they choose to come in and pit now.
The old pit.
In fact, that's what Island's doing. It's what they've all done, but Storm has decided to stay out. And you know what? I think that's the right decision to stay out at that point, because if you stayed out in that first lap, these guys are going to lose so much in terms of track position. It's worth maybe just trying to stay on those hard tyres and keep your track position, as it is a hard track to overtake on. And with the safety car, you'll gain back a lot of that ERS. So it'll be interesting to see where Island and Skeefy come out in this, but I think they're going to come out pretty far down the order compared to where they were. Unless they can get those moves done.
With Storm, I don't think Storm would want to be following Skeefy into his own pit box.
No, true.
It would have been a double stack too. So Storm basically didn't get a choice. And look, I think Storm may have wanted to do it. Could have had the option to do it last lap. If he took that one last lap, it might have paid off better for him. But I think, to be honest with you, if you can, it's a tough track to overtake. Correct. If he can stay off that turn 1 and turn 2, then he could still get a good podium here. But he really does have to defend his place here today.
Yeah, we've also got to remember about penalties. I don't think I've seen ERN Storm's name pop up at all in that bottom left corner all race.
No,
if the guys behind him all have penalties, and all he has to do is just hold them up a bit, you know, he doesn't even necessarily have to keep this P1. As long as he just becomes that spanner in the cogwork and just sort of slows it all down, makes him struggle. And the other thing you've got to remember is he controls the restart here. So if he can get a good jump and maybe gain a second or two, that might just give him a couple of laps extra leeway, especially with the safety car, as it looks like it's going to be doing another lap as well. So it is going to be a 3-lap shootout to the end. I think Storm might have pulled a worldie here by staying out on these hard tyres. Also, Matrice.
Safety car in this lap. That's a very, very late call there.
Very late call.
A very late call. My headphones are all tangled up. Right. Storm going off the track there. He's really trying to get temperature into his tyres. I don't think, obviously, like us, he was expecting to go here, and now he does go. And Mike's already got him.
Mike's on him. It hasn't been the best of restarts for Storm, but Storm shows him the outside of the track. Will he be able to hold on his older hard tyres? It's a good line out of there, but Mike's going to have so much better traction on the outside. Oh, as the two come into contact, and Storm gets a little bit on his side. They manages to keep it together.
And now Hayes is going to have a look at Storm going around the outside now of Storm on Hayes, and a bit of wheel banging there. And there's also Skeefy on the trees along with NRC Island. And now the Red Bull's getting involved of Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj is going down the outside line into turn 4. And that's a fantastic move from the Red Bull going around the outside of turn 4 there of the Alpha Tauri. Skeefy is all over the back of his championship rival of NRC Island here. Storm is holding Island up as much as he possibly can. It could be beautiful play here from the Haas boys and could be critical to the driver's standings.
Yeah, Skeefy now looking for the move. Oh, as Island goes on Storm and hits the back of him. Oh.
Contact there between Island and Storm. Nicki Minaj was looking to try and send it around the outside of Skeefy there. Really looking to try and get a move there. But Mikey already pulling a 1.2 second gap on T-Bag. And Hayes is in prime position too as Skeefy and Storm go wheel to wheel here. I imagine there's a bit of team orders as Skeefy goes down the inside and they takes 4th position and will now try and hunt Hayes as there's a yellow flag further down the pack, and I think that was Eke below there in the Sauber. A lot of moves going on here as the side by side of the two Alpha Tauris, Matrice and D6W, along with Arns, who's trying to fight Matrice currently too. A lot of fights going up and down the field here. Nicki Minaj is on the back of Storm, D6W and Matrice once again battling. Christoph manages to get through 2 on Matrice on this occasion. And what's the 3 laps we're going to have here, Gibby?
Yeah, just looking at the gap that the top 3 now have all the way back to Skeefy, it's quite a gap on track, but it's only 2.3 seconds. And I must say, what an impressive performance from our 2 reserve drivers of Hayes and Mike so far in this race. Their first race in the league, and it looks like at the moment both of them are going to get a podium. So fantastic job from these 2 as well. But the action's far from over, and we've still got penalties to come, so it'll be interesting to see how this grid all gets shuffled up. But those who've managed to keep it clean throughout this race and stay away from those penalties are probably going to gain out massively here from this grid being bunched up. It's a massive shame for Ireland as well. I think that was just a little bit too half-hearted as a move on Storm, as he now gets the move done on Matrice up the inside. Matrice on those older hard tyres. Really unfortunate for those guys who stayed out on the hards. I don't think Storm had much of an option, as you said, with the double stop. Ooh, as Matrice gets a little bit of contact with Ireland on the inside, nearly loses the car, but manages to keep it together. But yeah, massive shame for some of those guys staying out on the hard tyres that they're getting swallowed up. But Storm's done a good job so far, managing to keep that P5. Unfortunately, didn't get the best of restarts, but I think he's done fairly well, and he's holding up these guys quite well now as he's got this lap and next lap to go. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can keep the
Oh,
likes of
Mikey,
Nicky
3
behind.
seconds time penalty. Mikey with a 3-second time penalty could prove crucial right now in this stage of the race. He's got 2.3 seconds to teabag, and if teabag hasn't got a time penalty, that is perfect for him. And Hayes also, she's now in third and is looking to be fighting teabag within this lap. And this could be even more critical. This is definitely not over yet.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea who's going to win this race now with these penalties as well. But especially if Hayes and T-Man maybe have a similar amount of penalties. Hayes is really want to get this move done because it could potentially be the move for the race. And we have seen Mike in penalties as Hayes has a little look down the inside there but decides not to do it. Storm's done a fantastic job to manage to keep Nicky behind on that final.
Oh, there goes Darker Wade, and there's contact there between Nicki Minaj and Darker Wade, and there goes NRC Odds straight into the side of Darker Wade, and that's them out of the session. Christoph gets round D6W. There's chaos there down at turn 2, and that was a huge incident there for NRC Odds going straight into the side of Darker Wade. That was the one. I couldn't think of his name.
Names.
Oh dear, as Hayes now is still in the back of TBAG looking to try and get this move done. This could now be very critical in these latter stages of this race. Nicki Minaj also picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is now down to penalties. Mike will cross the line on track in first in his first race in ERN, but who will take the win? Teabag no, and Hayes takes second. Skeefy takes first. From them all, with no penalties at all, it must be surely, takes the win by 1.5 seconds. But what a fantastic race it was from our two debutants of Mike and Hayes, and them two also get a podium today. And what a fantastic race we've had once again here in Hungary.
Yeah, I've got to say, at least one of my top 3 ended up in the top 3.
Same.
But, yeah, mightily impressive drive, I must say, from the likes of Hayes and Skeefy managing to come through the grid, and as well with Mike making that initial 2-stop strategy work. But, oh my god. As you see Frag say in the chat, I knew that from
I know.
I didn't want to spoil it. Oh.
Wow, oh wow, what a race we have had here today. And the game giving driver of the day to Hayes, and who on earth are we going to give it today? And I am leaning towards agreeing with the game here today, Gibby.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with the game as well. I think Hayes. I was thinking either Hayes or Skeefy for driver of the day for that, but I think Hayes had a bit more wheel-to-wheel action during the race and really fought for their position, whereas Skeefy just drove a really well-paced race and didn't have too much to do in terms of battling. So I think it'll go for Hayes on this one.
Yeah, I am going to completely agree with you. Hayes, a fantastic debut. Same for you, Mike, crossing the line in first. Unfortunate about the penalties. Skeefy did a fantastic job there to keep that penalty free. And so did Storm too. So Storm must have picked up a couple of places. He went from 15th to 5th with no penalties. So I imagine he jumped a couple of people there too. But what a fantastic race we have been treated to here today, Gibby.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say Hungary's Monaco, but without the walls. But that definitely was no Monaco race. There was plenty of action throughout that, and some fantastic debuts as well, which is great to see. And also, I must say, honourable mention for driver of the day with Storm there. I'm thoroughly impressed with him taking those hard tyres at the end and managing to keep at bay at least some of the soft runners to take home P5. And some good points for Haas as well. Yeah,
very crucial as well for Skeefy, with Ireland not finishes 7th, so he only recuperates. Is it 4 points for 7th? Give me if I can remember rightly. Is it 4 points or 5 points for 7th position? But Skeefy will be closing that gap very critically by getting the win here today. So that's really put pressure on Ireland in the driver standings too.
Yeah, this is not what Ireland wants. Again, I think he would have wanted to bounce back at this race, and it was looking so good throughout it. But unfortunately, that safety car at the end did not come out at the best time, and I think a bit of a half-hearted lunge there at the end on Storm. The move was never really on, He could have been a little bit more patient to get that move done because still being on those older hard tyres, it wouldn't have been too difficult to get past him. So a bit of a shame there for Ireland, but I'm sure he'll bounce back at some point. He's a mightily quick driver, and he's not going to give up this championship easy.
No, we've definitely got one hell of a second half to our Division 2 season. Ski Feet here today, taking the win in Hungary, and alongside the two debutantes of Hayes and Mike, them two both getting podiums in their first races here in European Race Night, and it is so glad to see them two doing well here today. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do next week at one of the best tracks, and one of the tracks I am really looking forward to commentate over, Gibby, Spa-Francorchamps, and I cannot wait to see what Div 2 do there.
Yeah, it's an incredible track, and especially with Radion and the El Rouge, I reckon that will claim some victims. It can be a very tricky section of the track to get right, but that massive Kemble Straight leads to massive overtakes and great battles, so I'm sure we'll see three wide moments and all sorts from Div 2 on that race weekend, but I'm looking forward to it, as well as especially the weather that Spa can sometimes throw up as well. Maybe some mixed conditions as well, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge. We are here tomorrow for Division 3 at the same time at 7:30. But once again, Skiffy wins, the two debutants get the podium, and Hayes, you are our driver of the day. I've been Dame Zero, your lead commentator today. Alongside me, Mr. ERN, Gibby.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to next week, and see you guys then.
We will catch you all next time, and we will see you for Division 3 tomorrow and Division 1 on Sunday. And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.